and I don't wait for nobody.
Good for you.
Because then that puts me behind for one person, and I don't do that. I will be your adventure guide into camp today. We do have 19 of us on board. Let me just confirm. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 20 of us on board. Sorry. we have 20 of us on board. I do need 20 signatures. This is basically saying that we are going to be going into the wilderness of Alaska. We will be dealing with ferocious animals. And we will get licked to death by puppies. So if you guys want to read the waiver form, it's right back here. Other than that, we are good. Also, it also says on there that if we do make an extra stop to go see bears, that you have to huddle around me and save me. How else are you gonna get back?
Yeah, we gotta save you.
Well, you have an X on your back.
I'm sorry?
You have an X on your back, so bear is gonna go after you.
That's because I'm cool. Have you guys been to Alaska before?
Yeah.
Well, welcome back to Alaska. And welcome to Alaska for those of you that is your first time. Mr. Quackers fell. Is this your first stop on the cruise ship?
No.
Where were you guys before here? Oh, cool. Did any of you guys play this really cool game? It's where you toss a soda can back and forth and you see if you could catch a can. The Red Dog Saloon. This is the first saloon to be established here in Juneau. Started out as a tent on the beach, serving alcohol to miners.
Ah.
No, not little miners, gold miners. They are famous for 2 drinks. They are famous for their root beers, and they are famous for their duck farts. They got quite tasty farts. It is Bailey's, Kahlua, and Crown. So if you guys want to give your security guard on board a little bit of hassle, just go in and have a few of those.
Right.
Make that happen. I like this group. So I said that once on another group that I had, and they're like, "Why would we do that?" I was like, "All right, goody two shoes." Jeez.
No sense of humor.
Right. So what time are you guys here till today?
8:30.
8:30. Oh, okay. So you guys got quite a bit of time here. And you guys are on the best dock because town is right there.
Yes, we are.
So the blue building that's coming up to my left, that's a good spot for food. There's 3 different restaurants there. You have the Fish and Chip Company, you have Russian Dumplings, and the Hangar, which has pretty much everything from burgers to wings to tacos, pasta, seafood. Really amazing clam chowder soup too. To the right hand side all the way to the end, That is the Capitol building, and that is where they pretend to do work.
Amen.
For crab legs throughout all of your Alaskan cruise stops, you have two options. You can either go to this location on the left, which not a lot of people know about, and there's another location right on the docks, maybe like three-minute walk from your ship. Big, which is actually bigger than Rhode Island. Half of that, 1,500 square miles, is made up of all glaciers and ice fields. So there are no roads that lead to Juneau. You could only get here three ways. You could get here by boat, by plane, or by birth canal. So now Juneau. Where are you guys from?
San Diego.
San Diego?
Arkansas.
Arkansas. All right.
Arkansas and
New York, California, Ohio.
Las Vegas.
Vegas. I love me some Vegas. Can you guys guess where I'm from?
Here. Alaska.
No. Far from it. Do I look Alaskan?
No.
I'm from Florida. Yeah.
Florida to Alaska. Okay.
I am from Florida, actually Miami, Florida.
Wow.
I am originally from Miami, Florida. I currently live in Kissimmee. And if you're wondering, how do I get over here to work? Yeah, I have my private plane and I just fly it every day.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. So I stay here for 6 months out of the year in the summertime, from April to October, and then I go back home and I get my tan back.
Man, that's drastic.
It is, but I'm tired of Miami and its traffic, but I also love my city and my beaches. So
You get a little bit of both.
I get a little bit of both and I get a break, and I'm also, so I got my bachelor's degree in film and photography, so I get to do that here and over there.
That's awesome.
So right now we are crossing over to Douglas Island. This island was named after John Douglas, who first discovered it in 1794. Where you guys are docked out on right now is called the Gastonal Channel. The Gastonal Channel does connect to the Lynn Canal. The Lynn Canal is the largest canal in all of North America. Starts out here in Juneau and it ends in Skagway, Alaska. It is also the deepest canal in all of North America. So right in between Juneau and Glacier Bay, it is 3,000 feet deep. Guys, that's pretty much enough to sink the Empire State Building with your ship right on top of it, and it'll still be completely submerged underwater. And that is because Lynn Canal is actually not a canal at all. It is a fjord. And a fjord is a body of water that connects to the ocean that is carved out by glacier runoff. So that beautiful emerald color that you guys see in the water, or if you've seen the swivels and swirls all over the water, that is the salt water and the fresh water mixing in together. Now the tide does change here every 6 hours, anywhere between 15 and 30 feet. And that is due to a process called isostatic rebound. And the best way I could describe this is a kitchen sponge. When it's sitting on your sink, it's in its original form. When you grab it, it shrinks because you're squeezing it. And that's exactly what's happening to the land here. So because we don't have the pressure of all the glaciers from thousands and thousands of years ago pressing down on the earth, our earth is rising and expanding outwards between 1/4 to 1 inch per year. It actually started out as Harrisburg, and Harrisburg is Juneau's business partner. But nobody liked that name because there was other cities and towns with the same name. So they ended up switching it over to Rockwell, after a military commander here in Juneau. And Joe Juneau didn't like this at all. He got very upset. So he got a bunch of miners and prospectors together, and he gifted them a lot of alcohol. That's a great way to convince somebody. So by the end of 1881, they switched the name over to Joe Juno. Because after all, Joe Juno was the first person to discover gold out here in Alaska. In 1880, he found 1,000 pounds of gold in the size of beans over at Gold Creek, which later produced $7 billion in gold. If you do the math on that in today's gold market, it equals $75 billion in gold. That's a lot of gold.
Yeah.
A lot of money.
Yeah, and Russia only sold Alaska for $7.2 million. That's only 2 cents an acre. Practically was given to us for free. And that's not even the gold rush that made Alaska popular. The gold rush that made Alaska popular is called the Klondike Gold Rush. And the Klondike Gold Rush kick-started in 1896. 2 men were camping alongside the Klondike River in the Yukon Territory, and they stumbled across gold bigger than my fist. They got so excited, they had to share this news with the world. So they filled up their sacks with as much gold as they could possibly find, and they headed out on a steamboat to Seattle, Washington. They got off the boat, and they shouted to the top of their lungs, "This is our chance to be rich. We could go from rags to riches." Now everybody looked at them and thought they were crazy, because they looked like 2 homeless men coming off the boat. So they reached in their sacks and they showed everybody a golden nugget. Before you know it, across every newspaper in the United States, everyone has now heard of the Klondike Gold Rush. 1897, it brought over 100,000 people to Alaska. Out of those 100,000, 40,000 made it up to the Klondike. Out of the 40,000, only 4,000 people survived and struck it rich with gold. And there was only 2 ways into the Klondike. One way was the train. Completed its construction in 1901. But one train ticket cost $500. $500 today is $60,000. It's a lot of money for a train ticket. So what people would do is they would take the second route, the Choku Trail. It's a 33-mile long trail that leads straight into the Yukon. But the catch was, in order to cross the Canadian border, you needed to carry over 2,000 pounds of goods. Now, I don't know any human alive today that can do that in one hike. So what people would do is they would carry 50 to 100 pounds per person, hike up the mountain, drop their stuff off, come back down, and repeat this process over and over again until they reach their 2,000 pound limit. So it actually took them 3 to 6 months to complete. Spidey! He's scared of spiders. Not only that, they did it in negative 40 degree weather. So now I know where that saying really comes from. What would you do for a Klondike bar? Right now, guys, we are in the 2nd largest rainforest in the world. This is the Tongass National Rainforest. Starts out in Victoria, Canada, and it stretches all the way through southeast Alaska. So Sitka, Ketchikan, Juneau, Haines, Skagway, and Icy Strait are all part of the same rainforest. We have 2 dominant trees here. One of them is the hemlock grove. The other is the Sitka spruce tree. It's a state tree. And just at the tips of the trees, it provides your daily source of vitamin C. Now, during the gold rush days, a lot of people were dying from a disease called scurvy, lack of vitamin C disease. And the natives, they tried to get people to eat the tips of the trees, but nobody would listen. Till along came Captain Cook, same guy that discovered Hawaii. And he said, I know how to get everybody to drink their vitamin C. Just turn it into a beer. So he did. So if you did forget to drink your vitamin C throughout all of your Alaskan cruise, you could go to any local brewery and ask for a spruce tip beer. Who would ever thought that drinking beer was healthy for you? You guys finished with the clipboard? have pink, silver, king. What's this one? Chum for the thumb. But I got a easier version and an easier way to remember it. And it's still with your fingers. And it's baked, fried, grilled, smoked, and raw. Exactly. So Alaska, guys, became the 49th state in 1959. And 40% of Alaska's land is made up of just water. So we do have 3 million natural lakes, 12,000 natural rivers, and right